Hello and welcome to Dice and Demons. I'm Emma, and today I want to show you a quick slap chop inspired paint job of an Imperial Fist. And the reason for that is my last couple of paint jobs have been quite busy. If you've seen the video with the Tetris/Rubik's Cube Space Marine, you'll probably know what I'm talking about. So lots of little intricate patterns and stuff. And so I thought it would be nice with a little bit of a change of pace. And so I thought slap chop was exactly the way to go. So I started off with a model that's been primed using the White Scars primer from Citadel. And then I started painting it with a speed paint from Army Painter. And this one is called Familiar Pink. And it's a really nice, light, vibrant pink color that I really like. And I thought it would work well as the sort of base color for the Imperial Fist color, which I wanted to be a sort of very nice saturated yellow color. And so I thought pink would work well because I've seen that work really well when people do it with an airbrush. And I didn't want to use an airbrush, but I thought perhaps it would work well with slap chop as well. So then once that was dry, I dry brushed it just using an old makeup brush and a little bit of white paint, as you can see here. I'm not that good at dry brushing. I know a lot of people are really good at dry brushing. I don't think I quite have the patience for it, but it works well enough. And you can tell that, of course, the speed paint looks a little bit, a little bit splotchy. And that's just the nature of speed paints and most contrast paints as well. They're not really that good on flat surfaces, but I thought when I covered it first with the dry brushing in white and then the next layer here, it would be just fine. This was, after all, just sort of an experiment and something I did for fun, so it didn't have to be perfect at all. Then I grabbed the Imperial Fists Contrast Paint from Citadel, and it has the advantage of not being a real contrast paint as such. It's I think it's a single pigment color or something like that. So it doesn't really do the classic contrast paint thing where you get a lot of different sort of colors between the shadows and highlights, but then it has the upside of giving a much more smooth layer. So it works well on, for instance, a flat surface such as Space Marine armor. Then I thought I wanted the details to be black, most of the details black. I considered painting them red, but I decided against it and went with the black because I wanted a lot of contrast in the way it looked, and so I thought yellow and black would be awesome for that. Then I grabbed another contrast paint, and this one is Gorgrunter Fur, and I painted all the smaller details with that because I thought I liked the sort of stark look of the yellow and black, but I really also wanted to include just a little bit of red, and so I thought the Gorgrunter Fur would be a nice base color for adding some red color later on. I wanted something that was really nice, bright, vivid red, and so I went with a color from Chimera Colors that is simply just called the red, and it works really well for stuff like this. I often use fluorescent colors, but since this was not supposed to be about really crazy color schemes for once, I went with something that was not fluorescent, so there isn't a single neon color on this paint job, which was a little bit weird for me, but it was something I wanted to try out. Then I actually thought the armor was quite good as it was. Actually, I was surprised by how rich and saturated the yellow was on top of the pink. But then I thought, okay, it is slap chop, but I do like edge highlighting. So I grabbed the Flash Sketch Yellow from Citadel, and I used that to do a quick edge highlight all around the armor panels. And then just to highlight that further, just slight touch of Wraithbone also from Citadel, just sort of at the top of each of the panels, just to give it a little bit more color variation and a little bit more visual interest. As I said, this was mostly an experiment. I just wanted to test how well the slap chop with yellow over pink would work. So I'm not going to be painting an entire army like this or anything. But if I were, I would probably skip this step. It's not necessary and it works completely fine without it. But it was just for fun, basically. Then for highlighting the red, I chose a color from Vallejo called Orange Fire because it's a nice bright orange. And again, I felt a bit like I would be cheating if I used my usual neon orange color for this, so that's why I just went with an ordinary color like this one. I was also afraid that it would be too much of a contrast, like it would be too bright compared to the rest, and I wanted the yellow armor to be sort of the star of this show and not the highlights on the details. Then for the black, I decided just to highlight that with a bit of silver, and the silver color I'm using is called Canoptic Alloy, and it's also from Citadel. Again, if I was going to be painting an entire army like this, I would probably do something that was a little bit quicker than this, but as I said, edge highlighting is just something I think is fun and challenging and also weirdly relaxing and meditative. So yeah, I'm a little bit funny that way, I guess. But here you can see the final result. This was a really quick paint job, especially compared to what I usually do with all the intricate little patterns. And I was quite happy with it, and I had a lot of fun. And I think I would like actually to experiment more with slap chop, where I use a bright color such as the pink I used here as the undercoat, and then with the dry brushing of white and then another color on top. I was really happy with how well the bright pink color worked, and I think perhaps I've tried this a little bit before, and I think one of the challenges I've had with it is perhaps that I have used a color that was too dark as the first layer, which then, I don't know, makes the entire color scheme a little bit less saturated than I would often ideally like. So yeah, it was an experiment, and I was quite happy with it, and it was very quick and very fun. As this is a little bit of a departure from my usual color schemes and paint jobs and videos, I am really interested in hearing what you guys think of this. Is it something you're interested in at all, or would you rather just see more of the crazy patterns, or both? So let me know what you think. I would really love to know. Before you leave, I would also like to take the opportunity to thank the wonderful people who support Dice and Demons over on Patreon. So thank you so much to Thomas Madsen, Scott Broadway, Gwenna L, Queen's Wolf, Double J's Terrain, Mola, Steve Eberly, Nassim Makaya, Bosworth the Rogue, Mando Project, Starcon85, S. Bear, Echinocacus, Elliot Philby, Cyber Fossil, and Cinnamon Coffee 87. So if you would also like to join them in supporting this channel, I'll leave a link for Patreon in the show notes. As always, I really appreciate it if you leave a like, a comment, if you share this video with your friends, and also remember that you can follow me as Dice and Demons over on X, formerly known as Twitter, and on Instagram if you want to stay up to date on my painting projects. So thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you next time. Bye!